Story 1. Ask them to make sure my mom drinks all her medications. My mom is dead, so they will know or think that it's fake. But either way, they will know something is wrong. Story 2. If it was to my best friend, I'd write something like, "Hey, I'm really missing Uncle Joe, and I needed a real break, so I'm going to go hang out with him. I hate my uncle deeply," and my friend would be totally alarmed and know that something is definitely up. Story 3. My family has a secret message that, if stated, lets other family members know something is wrong. We use it when traveling. There's also a secret message for when things are going okay, and it really is us contacting them and not a fake voice. I would use the duress message. Story 4. Well, my husband wouldn't pick up on a hint if it hit him with a mallet, so if I said something about, say, going to his parents who have long passed, he'd just think I was having a moment or something. It wouldn't occur to him that I was in trouble. A message to say I've seen Bob at the old hut in the woods would not bring him looking for me. I'm done for on my own on this one. Story 5. I would use a ton of misspellings like you're for your and it's when it should be it's. Plus, I would put apostrophes over every word ending in S as that is my pet peeve. I would also misuse commas and write run-on sentences. Anyone who knows me would notice it was not me writing. I would also mention running into relatives who have been dead a long time now. Story 6. Dearest Father, I shall be on an extraordinary adventure involving myself. Give my most sincere apologies to Mother because I did not tell her in person. From your loving son. Story 7. I'd say I went to visit my mother. Every single person in my life knows I hate my mother, and she lives across the country in a ward. I'm not seeing her even after she dies. Anyone who read that would instantly know something was very wrong. Story 8. I would add in incorrect facts like a date that's obviously wrong, but I would know. For example, saying, "Sorry, I'll miss your birthday this weekend," when their birthday is actually months away. Or maybe using the wrong nickname, like calling someone named Michael Mickey, when they never go by that nickname. Edited to add. My cousin once signaled a need for help by stating she was excited for Grandpa's birthday party. Grandpa had been dead for years. Story 9. When I was going on dates through OkCupid, I always had one or two friends check on me. It was typically played off as a normal conversation, but the phrase I would have needed to say was, "Tom is going to college?" Tom was a friend who wasn't ever going to end up in college, so it was an atypical sentence to get attention. Story 10. Yeah, my family has a password. It started when I was a little kid, and we were supposed to ask somebody for a password if they tried to pick us up from school, even somebody we knew. As we got older, it morphed into a code word for something isn't good, and I need you to get me out of it. Casually thrown into conversation like if we needed to go home from a slumber party or something. Then it became the use in case of emergency word. Story 11. My family has a secret state that if we mention it 3 times, it's the danger, danger, danger sign. To the point when a relative moved to that state, we didn't call it by name or abbreviation, we called it a nickname. Story 12. I left and joined the circus again, but my circus equipment would still be in the house, and they know my health is too poor right now. That would certainly tip them off, oddly enough. Story 13. I'm going camping for a while. You all know how much I need my outdoorsy time away from people. I'm a social person who hates any level of discomfort. I don't want it to be too hot, too cold, too windy, or too rainy. I love the woods, but only from the comfort of a cottage. Story 14. Take good care of Bruno for me, not that he cares when his spare human leaves, just like the rest of you. The dog's name was Bruno when we got him, but it is now Spud, and he has extreme separation anxiety. He taught himself to open doors so he could get to me when we shut him out of my room during intimate time. The problem is, I don't know if any of my friends would figure it out. They'd probably just be very confused by it, maybe think the dementia finally kicked in. I tested it by asking my fiancé. Yep, he was just very confused. Nothing clicked. I'm surrounded by people who would just let me be successfully kidnapped. Story 15. I have been kidnapped before. I always used to end every conversation, phone call, and text with, "I love you," even to people I didn't know that well. Because of my lifestyle, I always wanted my last words to someone to be, "I love you." So not having that ending would be a dead giveaway. Story 16. Dear former roommates, I'm so tired of this boring life. In this day and age, a woman like me just can't be tied down anymore. Danger is out there, sure, but so is adventure. I've been thinking a lot about this lately, been daydreaming too. Taken maybe just a few too many paid time off days, according to my boss. My cats, well, life on the road isn't something they're really suited for. Is it okay if you guys take them? In your home, at least they would be in a familiar environment, even if I'm not around anymore. Jeopardy is Glitch's favorite show. Don't forget that. I know both of them will be happy to see your cat again too. They really missed Lily after we moved. Need me for anything though, no matter where I am, I'll come back to be here. Help yourself to any of the furniture I left in my apartment if you want to keep it. Sell what you don't. My former roommates would know right off the bat that something is wrong because I am happiest when life is boring. I'm not the adventurous type. They also know I never take paid time off. See boring. Glitch's favorite show is actually Project Runway, which everybody knows. My cats were bullied by theirs, one of my main reasons for finally moving out, and are terrified of her. I loved my roommates, but I could never subject my cats to that little demon again. Last but not least, they might just catch the message made by the first word in every sentence. Story 17. I would say I decided to visit somewhere really cold to clear my mind and enjoy the beauty of snow. Anyone who knows me fully knows I would never travel anywhere that is not on an island with a beautiful beach. Story 18. This depends on how intelligent my kidnapper is. I would use coded language that my spouse would recognize. I'd say, I'm all right. This is what I wanted to do because of something interesting. Interesting in my household is another way of saying bad. Story 19. Please give Wolfie a big hug from me. In Terminator 2, the Terminator 800 tests the Terminator 1000, who's posing as John Connor's foster mom, by calling the dog Wolfie when his name is Max. My husband would know immediately. Story 20. FBI agent. Judging by this written note, the kidnappers have clearly cut several of your husband's fingers off. My wife. No, that's his normal handwriting. Story 21. Our code with our kids is for them to ask if our cat is okay. He's been dead for years. We set that up when we first sent them to sleepaway camp and they weren't allowed to call us directly. So if their counselor mentioned one of them asked if our cat was okay, we knew to come get them right away. However, they had too much fun and never asked about the cat. Now it's turned into a de facto code for any situation they need us but are embarrassed to say directly in front of their friends. For example, Story 22. I don't care about my adult children, and they can all go away. I loved my mother until the day she died, and my stepfather even more so. I really cared about my former neighbor Bonnie. Story 23. I would include something about travel. Everyone in my life knows I detest travel. I do not want to go on a holiday in a tropical paradise. I do not even want to go to the closest major city, about an hour and a half away. Everyone would immediately know something is wrong if I wrote anything about wanting to travel the world. Story 24. Someone I know always tells their family, everything sucks, or, yeah, I'm doing awful, etc. The idea is that if you ever have to say, all's good, or I'm okay, they definitely know that something is wrong. I find this to be genius. Story 25. The letter itself will tell it. I only write when I have a problem. Otherwise, I stay silent. Considering this, the person reading this will probably get a heart attack because of the message. Story 26. I'm tired of being held back from all the activities I want to do, the parties I want to go to, and the friends I want to make. I'm finally taking the trip I've been threatening to take for all these years, to meet strangers and live the social life I need. There's not a person in my life that would believe this. Story 27. I am okay. I have just gone to the gym and a 5-kilometer run. Then I am going to work on an organic vegan farm for a while. Do not worry about me. I have forsaken bacon for a healthier life. Story 28. I would write about how the place I am is great and there is no alcohol here. They would know I am in severe danger, basically like the movie Taken, and if they do not get to me soon, they will never find me. Story 29. I would likely sign off with a childhood nickname that I hate. I asked my entire family to stop calling me it when I got older. One aunt and uncle are forever allowed to, but only them. My mom, dad, brother, and husband would know something is wrong immediately. Story 30. I'd be like, I'm having so much fun dancing to reggaeton music at the mall. I don't dance, I hate reggaeton, and going to the mall is the worst thing that could happen to me. Story 31. Dear family, I ran while listening to country music. I won't be back until I have kicked every puppy in town. Don't wait for me to eat dinner. I'm not hungry. Story 32. I have a crazy aunt who will spend the night calling the entire family while drunk. Said aunt has never had my phone number so that I could avoid the drama. I would tell my mother to make sure my aunt had my number so we could keep in touch. That would definitely set off alarm bells. Story 33. Not only have I thought about this, I have talked to someone about how they should know. Pretty much everyone who knows me and that I would be writing to would know if I misspelled words and used any sort of text speak or horrible grammar. I edit iMessages all the time to correct anything that looks wrong. I proofread emails over and over again to check them. Even under duress, I have edited messages. This kidnapping letter would be no different, and I do not think this kidnapper would really think modern-day abbreviations would be out of the ordinary. Story 34. I would just tell my family, I'm okay. I needed some time to myself. And they would be so upset with me for trying to have any alone time. They would come hunt me down to bother me. Story 35. I would say something like, Mom, I'm having so much fun on my trip. I have been eating lots of onion rings, and we even went to a place with pork chop sandwiches. My mom knows I hate onions and pork chops. I have told her numerous times if I was kidnapped, this is how she would know something is wrong. Story 36. I am a degreed writer and worked for over a decade as a resume and curriculum vitae writer. Even a simple your/your or their/their mistake would be a glaring, obvious beacon of, something is not right, send help. Story 37. I'll write a secret code like, tell Salvador and Ani I love them. Salvador means savior and Ani means I or me. They are the closest names to save me. Story 38. My husband and I have established code questions to check if we've been possessed or become pod people. So in my letter, I would say that I did not want to eat Mexican food and that I loved the Comic Sans font. For him, he'd say he wouldn't want a steak, or he would love a very well-done steak. Then I would know something was amiss. Story 39. Tell them that I hope Jacob is doing well and to give him my best. Jacob is my no-contact brother, and I wouldn't care about him in any instance. Story 40. It started as a joke, but my code word with my family is iced tea. I hate iced tea, and if I ever say I wish I had some iced tea, you can be sure I'm being held against my will. Story 41. I went on a camping trip with a friend to be in nature and explore a more down-to-earth spirituality. My family knows I don't usually go camping and that I would be at a park with geese and ducks, so they would know if someone kidnapped me. Story 42. Husband and I have an agreed-on code word. It's innocuous, but neither of us would use it accidentally. I always tell him if he hears me use it on the phone or sees it in a text or letter, something bad is up and call for help. Story 43. I would mention my love for my estranged sister, whom I haven't spoken to in years after she completely betrayed me, as well as my upcoming solo trip to England. Just enough so they'd know something was off, but it would look normal if the kidnapper checked up on it. Story 44. I would say something totally out of character for me. My family would know immediately. I saw it on Beverly Hills 90210 when Donna called David Dave, which she never did. Story 45. Read through all my writing notebooks and view all social media accounts including archive of our own. People know I hate people going through my writing stuff with a burning passion. They would know that I'm either a high as fuck or B being kidnapped. Story 46. My mom told me as a teenager that if I had to write a letter or call her, and I didn't want to let the person I was with know that I was asking for help, to just say that I'm worried I locked the cat inside my room and couldn't she go and let it out. We didn't have a cat, so it would be obvious to mom that I needed help. Story 47. In the children's book series The Famous Five, there's a character called George. She's a girl and her real name is Georgina, but she's a tomboy and hates her full name. She strictly goes by George. In one of the books, she's kidnapped and forced to write a letter, which she signs Georgina. And the others know right away it was written under duress. These plots always bother me in films, so I told my husband about George in The Famous Five. And that's our system. If we sign our real names, look for clues in the note. We never use our real names with each other, mine like George never ever, so it would work. This is entirely irrelevant to our lives. Chances of getting kidnapped are basically zero. But when people mess this stuff up in film, we congratulate ourselves on doing better than them. Yay! We're so prepared for our exciting lives as teenage mystery solvers. Story 48. My wife and I have a code. It's something along the lines of, I hope my dad isn't worried and smoking packs of Camels. My dad used to exclusively smoke Marlboro. She'll know something is wrong if I name the wrong brand. Story 49. Grammar and spelling. Mom is a stickler for both. She was a teacher, and it passed on to me. Deliberately mess up spelling, syntax, and maybe add some Welsh in as well, as she knows I would never write her a letter like that if I was running away. I'd also reference a long-dead pet in the present tense as a clue something wasn't right.